So yesterday, U.S. Soccer came out with an anticipated statement regarding concussion. And they made some wonderful suggestions. And the reason they came out with this now is that they've recognized that concussion is a super big problem, especially in kids. It's under-recognized, under-treated, and there may be long-term consequences to kids who get concussions that don't get appropriate treatment, that return to play too fast. They may really have long-term problems from that. So that's one reason. The other reason is that there was some recent litigation with U.S. Soccer, and as part of the settlement for that litigation, it involved developing a concussion awareness and education program. So it's twofold. It's a great problem to address. I'm thankful that this has come to the forefront so that we can learn how to make kids safer and better players, and we're thankful that that opportunity has come to us. Specifically, U.S. Soccer said that they will no longer allow kids that are in the U10 age group or below to do any heading of any kind, and that they want to restrict the amount of heading that is practiced by the U11 to 13 age groups. They'll still be allowed to head in the U11 to 13, but they want to limit the amount of heading for that age group. They also said that they want to develop substitution protocols that allow for complete evaluation of concussion on the sidelines without losing a substitute or being penalized by having a player have to stay out when they're brought out to be evaluated for concussion. So they're trying to protect the integrity of the game by limiting substitutes, but not penalize a team for doing the right thing and taking the time to evaluate the player fully before he's allowed to return to the pitch. So they've identified the young population as having more to lose because their brains are developing and there's more problems with them. Concussions in children are different than concussions in adult, and the youngest children are the most different. So they've said U10 is a good cutoff point. Other things that make U10 players at risk are general coordination. It's hard to head the ball. It's hard to judge the ball. It's hard to time the heading. Your neck muscles are underdeveloped in U10s, so they don't absorb the shock as well. And if they aren't as coordinated when they go to make the header, they can mistime the shock absorbing part from their necks. And it's really up to physicians that are involved with the clubs and the local leagues, whether that's the ECNL, the MOSL, whatever group we're talking about, then those groups will have to develop individual policies on what to do. And right now that's not there, but we'd love to be involved in that discussion. The most important thing for anyone that has a child playing soccer is that you and the coaches need to be aware of what the signs and symptoms of concussion are. And obviously the first is a blow to the head, but it doesn't have to be a blow to the head. It can be a blow to the neck. Anything that would cause a sudden deceleration or movement of the head, even if it's not a blow to the head, can cause a concussion. And if there's a concussion, it's often associated with at least short-term memory loss. It's associated with a fuzzy feeling, problems with vision, problems with balance, light sensitivity, mood disturbance, concentration irregularities, sleep disturbance. There's numerous symptoms that can present with a concussion. But the biggest thing is if you're aware of changes in how your child's acting after any kind of injury that involves the head, then that could be a concussion. So that's the most important thing, is recognizing the potential is there and being aware of it even in a younger child. If a youth player has a concussion, the most important thing for a parent to do is make sure they're removed from competition. The risk of a second impact causing more damage is much, much higher after the first concussion. So if they go back in, there can be really severe problems with that. So the most important thing for parents to do is, if they think their kid could have had a concussion, they need to ensure that they're removed from the competition. Just like if you injure a muscle and you put it in a splint, or you sprain your ankle and you wear a boot, you need to rest your ankle after a sprain, you need to rest your brain after a brain injury. So what does that mean? That means no TV, no cell phones, no reading. Ideally, it means no school, because really we want these kids to rest their brain so that it can recover back to baseline before it has to function again.